as the underdog by the
Yeah.
betting odds. So that one was huge too. There was just so many good ones. We could probably discuss this for the rest of the night, but I just couldn't. Like I said, I couldn't not vote for Valdez.
Yeah, to me, like the Cepeda knockout, that one probably made some of the biggest rounds, just based on all the shit talking that was done, and then the brutality of how he got, how he knocked out his opponent. To the Valdez, because the Valdez fight, we even wondered, like, was this last year or the beginning of this year? It was the beginning of this year, but just the fact that we're still talking about it now, just speaks volumes to how big that knockout was. The enormity of that event. Two title holders with history, with both narratives to prove. I almost felt like Berchelt was gonna find a way to get this win, because we heard about their history and how it was Berchelt's time to finally have the spotlight, after being avoided for so long. But Oscar Valdez with that huge knockout, we're still talking about it now, 9 months later. So rightfully and deservedly, if it's won tonight.
Yeah, and I think on the poll, let me go ahead and check this. I did a poll on our channel. I think the majority of the people voted for Valdez 2021 knockout of the year. There were 4 options, and then other. The lowest percentage was Canelo against Caleb Plant. Obviously, I think the moment was probably bigger than the knockout itself, but that was a big one, 15%. Jake Paul versus Woodley received 17% of the votes. Tyson Fury, close with Valdez. Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder received 27%, and 32% of the voters were going with Valdez against Berchelt. So, yeah, it was a tough one to decide. But trainer of the year, I think this is probably at least for me, one of the clearest years for this pick. I mean, we mentioned Valdez, we mentioned Ryan, we mentioned Canelo, and they're all under one guy, right? They're under one man, and that's Eddy Reynoso. And I'm gonna just say it, that's my pick. I didn't consider anybody else really. I tried my best, but if you look at Reynoso's year with Ryan, with the KO of Campbell, with the Oscar Valdez upset, Canelo becoming his undisputed, other guys like Frank Sanchez and Andy Ruiz also obtaining some victories. I think this was a no-brainer for me.
I'll go ahead and just say I think this might be unanimous. I think Reynoso was undefeated, right, with his fighters this year. So, yeah, I think this is I think it'll be pretty unanimous with this. So I'm going with Reynoso.
Let us know what you guys think
Sean?
in the chat.
I was gonna pick Ben Davidson. No, I'm just messing with you guys. No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely. I think Eddy Reynoso, pretty close to a landslide. I mean, you do have to, and I do think that's no disrespect to Ben Davidson. I do think he did good work with his fighters this year, but I just think you can't compete with the year that Eddy Reynoso stable had. Between Oscar Valdez, Canelo, Ryan, Frank Sanchez, even with big wins over like Ajagba and them. So, yeah, definitely Reynoso.
Landslide.
Yeah, for me, like, go Gio.
Oh, I was just saying landslide, but let's see if you have anybody else.
No, for me, I guess.
Who's Bud Crawford's trainer, Chris?
Omac.
Somebody
For me,
said Jake Paul's
Omac.
trainer. Jake
I'll
Paul's,
agree with you guys. I think Eddy Reynoso runs away with this one, but I want to just do an honorable mention, because obviously it's kind of like an award for second place this year, but I'm going to give an honorable mention to Anatoly Lomachenko, because this, obviously, a lot of people discounted and discredited Lomachenko, but I think he had a big year. And I think his dad had a big part to do with that. Obviously, we know Lomachenko, and especially Anatoly, they don't give too many interviews, obviously, because of the language barrier, but I think Anatoly, even though a lot of people were discounting Lomachenko, or like, oh, he still has the talent, but the media is not, the media can be very rough when we lose a big match, and we lost a match to Teofimo. They discount him the way they did with Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Like, you could get discounted off the pound for pound list. You could be forgotten if you don't give too many interviews. And I think Anatoly kind of used this year to bring Lomachenko back, whether mentally, condition-wise, and I don't think he gets enough enough props for what he does behind the scenes. So I'll give him the honorable mention, but the second place. But of course, it's all Eddy Reynoso. Just too much of a stable. Everybody wants to be there. You see even Anthony Joshua making trips to see if he can make something happen. But all roads lead to the Eddy Reynoso and the Canelo team. He's had a phenomenal year, and he might have this award locked in if they continue the way they're doing it. So Eddy Reynoso for sure.
Is Loma's dad still training Usyk, or am I tripping?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe they're still training. So he had a big year too there. So yeah.
No Teo Senior? Nobody? Teo Senior? Someone asking here in the comments.
He got last year from me. He can't get it twice, man. Especially after this last outing. Come on.
So Eddy Reynoso, trainer of the year. That was an easy one to decide.